Welcome back to PBR Acres. Alright, on this video we're going to start going through the tiny cabin. So the tiny cabin is 12 by 16 and it's up on stilts. So how did I come up with this design? Why is it up on stilts? Why this size? Why is it a tiny off-grid cabin? Where did you get your ideas? All this kind of stuff kind of comes up. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you the last couple of cabins I had before this. My other cabins were up in northern Wisconsin, and I really loved it up there. But with my job, time constraints, and whatnot, we decided that we were going to get the camp a little bit closer to where I live. So instead of a 3-hour trip, now it's like a 45-minute trip for me. So bear with me. I'm going to go through the first couple of cabins and kind of go through the sizes of them and how I ended up getting downsized into a 12 by 16 cabin because I started a little bit bigger than that. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. To start with, I bought 13 acres in northern Wisconsin and decided I was going to put a double wide construction trailer together and call it a cabin. This thing had 5 bedrooms in it, a bathroom set up that never got hooked up because there was no septic, but I was able to get this thing put together, slid together, and basically, ready to go with some help. We ended up putting some stairs on the front, use it like a cabin. The thing cost a mint to run though. Those big air conditioner heater units on the front, that was all electric. Even learned how to put together a outhouse on this job because again, there was no inside plumbing, no septic, anything like that. And then I had some friends working that ended up gifting me this really nice toilet set up on a half barrel of beer. The bottom's cut out and everything else. But this cabin, it was on 13 acres. It really wasn't a very good hunting spot. So we decided, it's time to move on. It cost way too much money to heat this thing. And I wanted to get into something a little bit different. Bought about 28 acres and ended up putting down a slab, put in some plumbing for it, stubbed it in, and some in-floor heat. I never did hook up the plumbing on this, but the footprint on this cabin is going to be 20 foot by 24 foot. The last one was 24 by 56, so a bit smaller. I prefabbed all the wall sections at home 3 hours away. Drove them up on a trailer, brought them up here, had some friends come up. We tipped them all up. Everything actually fit really well. So, the math was right. Everything fit. Got the bottom floor done and put a second deck on this thing. I wanted to have an upstairs. So 20 by 24 is actually times 2, I guess. So it's not quite as small as what what it sounds. But it is a little bit smaller than the first one. So I had a 4-foot knee wall on the top, put in, a roof with about a 10-12 pitch. And we did a lot of hand framing on that roof. This cabin, it was a lot of work, a lot of high work. My son, he was pretty young at the time. He'd always want to come with, but we couldn't have him up there working. So, well, he went to work down below on his own stuff, built himself a little scooter out of scraps that was sitting around. Did that all on his own. We come down to be done for the day, and he's down there, and he's got this thing. It was just great. So that cabin, it worked out well, and I brought the kids up, had everything in Tyvek, we were really happy with it. Was kind of contemplating putting vinyl siding on this thing. And then we show up and we find this. So what the heck happened here? After a little bit of looking around and stuff, we're scratching our heads. What happened? What happened? What happened? Well, we found out what happened. We had a bear. That bear visited us a couple of times, but it did, we took care of that bear. We got it out of there, and yeah, no, I'm just kidding. We didn't eat the bear, but the bear was gone. But it did put, kind of a damper on what I was planning on doing for the siding, and we ended up, thinking about instead of vinyl siding, that's probably going to get tore up by a bear. Let's go ahead and we tin sided everything. So this is kind of how everything looked from the front. And, I'm learning a lot when I'm building this cabin. And, we loved going up there in the winter time And I ended up with power on this cabin also, but no septic. So outhouse number 2 was built. This one actually had power run back to the main cabin on a switch where you'd flip it on and a light would turn on, and an outlet where you could have a heater on in the wintertime. It was pretty nice, but still, kind of roughing it having to use an outhouse. Well, this was a great cabin, but the hunting was not. The hunting had really gone downhill. I was up there with my a couple of my kids would hunt with me, little Jacob and then my daughter. So after discussion, maybe it's time to get into a different area and someplace a little bit closer. So that's kind of where we decided we are going to sell it. I let it go to a great family. Eric and his wife and kids took it, and they keep me informed. So now we're into this cabin. This one is 12 by 16, far, far smaller. And, I ended up putting a 4 foot by 10 foot deck, coming up into it, and it's up on poles. So the last cabin, I had all them poles figured in, and on this one I decided to use them. I wasn't going to put it on a slab. The last one I was going to put it up on piers with the stainless poles. So I put this one up on piers, and I put it up way up high. I was going to use it like an elevated stand, and I kind of drew it out to use it for hunting out of. So I started putting the pieces together. I built 3 of these. So these are 4-inch pipe. I coped in 2.5-inch tube on the sides for bracing, and basically I was welding everything up together and prefabbing this stuff in my garage back at home. Then I cross braced everything, and I built 3 of these sections. So these 3 would end up interconnecting with each other once up there. So threw everything on the trailer, grabbed my welding machine, grabbed a bottle of argon and my TIG torch, and up we went. First things first, start unloading. You can see some 2.5-inch tube on the bottom of your screen here, and that was interconnecting pipe on the bottom of all these pieces that we were putting together. So I stood the first one up. On the bottom, there was adjustable feet on the bottom, so I could raise and lower this thing as need be. So I got the first one up, and then was basically put everything together, and then weld all the bottom pieces together. You can see in your screen there. So everything's connected on the bottom. On top, it's not. I just have a wood clamp to it. Well, once we were, put all that together, I started putting some forms together. I wanted to get this thing in concrete. There is such a high water table on this land that, you dig down a foot, you're in water. So this is sitting on a pad of about 12 inches of gravel. I mean, that's breaker run, big, thick gravel with dressing of smaller gravel on top of it. So it's a solid base, but nothing holding this thing from flipping over. So I figured, well, let's put a big old pad on this thing. And I kind of knew that I wanted a porch on the front. So I figured on making an extra wide pad. And I put all kinds of rebar in it, not to mention the 2.5-inch tube that was interconnecting everything also. So this thing should be pretty good. I got the concrete truck guy there. I told him I was the only one here for the pour, so he ended up making it a wet pour, but it went well. It's probably not the strongest concrete, but I got her in there. And it works well. It's not pretty by any means, but it's 24,000 pounds of rock on the bottom of my cabin to hold it from flipping over. So, get everything poured in, and things stayed real nice. I had a transit out there. All the elevations came out really well. Ended up with a little bit extra, so I poured an extra pad. You'll see that in later where my flagpole is, buck pole. All those pieces had to be tied together. Those 3 pieces had to have cross bracing, to solid, make it solid and not shift at all. So, back up there with the welding machine, and here we go. We're gonna go ahead and start, welding, and you can see that, that little that old welder I got there. It was kind of a pain to weld with, but I welded all the extra cross braces, tying all these 3 together, except one spot under the porch where I might end up putting some type of a door. And then I ended up with plate on the bottom, or well, it'd be on the top, but it would connect to the bottom of the cabin. So I had to weld all these in, get everything right, and like I say, the rest of it, was interconnected. The concrete holding it down, everything's solid, ready to go. It was just a lot of welding. Beautiful time of year. It's fall, and I had plans on getting into this thing right when for that year a deer hunt. So I'm probably, not too far away from deer hunting here. So we had to go fast, and I had done a lot of prefab on this so it would go in well, and it did. So you can see everything cross braced, everything tied together. Everything is solid now. It's a really good foundation to build on, and it's ready to go. So if you look at it, like I say, it's got a lot of concrete on the bottom. It's not the best concrete job that's been out there. I don't even try to say I know what to do with concrete, but this should hold it from flipping over. And this is the start of PBR acres, puny buck rack acres, because that's what my son has shot out there ever since we started. So with that, I'm going to end this video. The other videos coming up will go through the framing and the outside, the extra stuff. I'll even have some videos coming up on what the inside finishes are, the electrical, all that stuff. But that's all coming up in in the near future here. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.